Yo, welcome back to the house where we talk news, celebrities, and hot topics. All right, listen, very quickly, let's go ahead and talk about tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. It is over. It is over and done with. Part 3 of the season 8 reunion. It was quite interesting. I will say I enjoyed all 3 parts. I felt like all 3 parts were really juicy and they were entertaining and they were interesting and I thought they were great. I like it when the women are forced to discuss the issues, to discuss the things that are going on, because we know a lot of the times throughout season 8, the ladies wanted to avoid each other. What I want to talk about first. So we have bipolar disorder. So Gordon, I thought that it was going to be a medical diagnosis. I thought he was going to say, I got 60 days left to live. I'm in stage 4, whatever cancer, child. He announced that he has bipolar 1 disorder, also known as manic depressive disorder. It's a mental illness that causes people to experience at least one manic episode. A manic episode is a period of increased energy, mood changes, and abnormal behavior. How bipolar disorder was described to me when I was in school taking psychology is that you have elongated periods of depression and then you have elongated periods of mania, manic episodes, right? And so a lot of people flippantly, they say, oh, you're bipolar, you're this or you're that. If you like change your mind or have a mood swing, right? You go from one mood to another mood within seconds or minutes or, hours. And that's not what bipolar disorder is. You may have 5 months out of the year, you may be depressed, really down and out, unmotivated about life, in a very, very depressed state. Then the rest of the months of the year, you may be in a manic state, meaning you're high energy, you're energetic, you have a bunch of ideas that you want to tap into right then and there now. You start new projects. You all of a sudden become a workaholic. You all of a sudden have a renewed interest in life and you want to do this and you want to do that. Extremely, extremely difficult to sustain, not healthy either way, right? And so, but you have these periods. And that's really interesting. And the way that I kind of, understand the situation, I guess that's one of the bigger reasons as to why, Gordon and Mia are getting a divorce is because according to Gordon, he said that Mia just could not take it anymore because during his manic episodes, he would kind of become a not so easy to get along with individual. Okay. Mia kind of alluded to this throughout the season where she would go, the reason that I'm separating from him is because he's always like, ah. I think those were her exact words. I believe in part 1. She was like, the reason why I left is because Gordon was just so ah. And I think she was trying to say like he was just not easy to get along with, not just pleasant. Just he doesn't have a pleasant energy. And I guess you could kind of attribute that to the bipolar disorder. But, what's interesting is that Mia and Gordon are being praised for being honest, but if you really want to be honest about the situation, they have kind of kept their life and the true dynamic of their marriage a secret until this year. And so, this whole thing of Mia's being honest, I'm glad that Mia allowed the cameras to capture her life, and I'm glad that she didn't go to Patreon, you know what I mean, and sell her story for $5, $5 a pop, or some dumb shit like that when she's getting paid 6 figures to tell her life story on this damn television show. And so that's why Mia gets a point and Robin doesn't. But Mia and Robin are the same in the sense that they do keep really, really, really big parts of their life a secret, right? For whatever the reason, they kept it a secret. So it's really interesting. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the situation. I think Mia said that she was going to, I guess, take care of Gordon throughout the rest of her life. Gordon is trying to make it seem like he don't need no help, but they were saying something like, "Oh, Mia, what you're doing is so commendable and it's so respectable and it's this, that, and the third." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I guess because she's gonna take care of him. At this particular point, he's kind of down and out and doesn't really have a lot of money. He still has the shares in his companies, but he doesn't have the salary of being the CEO of the franchises and things like that. I guess. I guess. Okay. Remember earlier in the season, Ashley sat Nneka down and brought up this article about Dr. Wendy to you, sweetie, being Osu, which we still don't understand what Osu is. I can try to Google it. According to Nneka, nobody on that stage was competent enough to even explain it or understand it. So listen, if Andy and if Wendy and if Nneka, if they're not even competent enough, I guess I'm not either. Shit. But I guess I can do a quick Google search because no one even wanted to uh explain it. Osu is a traditional practice in the Igbo region of Nigeria that involves dedicating people to local deities, which some consider to be transforming them into slaves of the gods. See, yeah, Nneka was right because I don't understand what the fuck I just read. Nneka, you were right, sis. Okay, Nneka, you were right about one thing because I don't know what the fuck I just read. Okay, so y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. But I like the fact that, Wendy turned toward Ashley and was like, yeah, Ashley, tell us what it means since you brought it onto the show. And then looked at Ashley, and Ashley Darby couldn't say anything because Darby knew she was wrong. Darby was trying to be messy and she didn't really know what she had gotten into. She didn't know what kind of worms that she had opened, and now she's stuck on stupid. Okay? Miss Darby is stuck on stupid and stuck on Michael Darby with the crusty, nasty feet that she massages every night. Just a whole hot damn mess. Honestly, why is she onto the show? If you're going to be messy, please bring forth storylines that, are going to be like entertaining and going to be interesting to talk about. Please. Like, that was one of the biggest flops of this season. The biggest flop of the season was Darby trying to, bring in some drama, trying to start some mess with the whole Osu thing, and then retreating because, it's a very sensitive situation. It's a sensitive subject. Okay, she don't even know how to explain it. She can't even define it. Nneka couldn't even define it. Okay, she said, none of us are competent enough. I'm scared to even explain it. But I felt like that was such a flop. I don't think we need Ashley onto the show. Like, she has contributed, especially in the early seasons. She's an OG. Right? A lot of people don't really recognize Ashley as being an OG, but she's an OG. And I think they don't see her as an OG is because she came onto the show when she was super young. I think at the time she was the youngest housewife, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody fact check me. I don't know. But she's super young, so you wouldn't think like, somebody being that young, equating that with being an OG. But she's an OG of the show, and I do feel like she has contributed a lot to the show's success. But I feel like at this point in time, I don't feel like her presence is really that necessary. If anybody needs to leave the show, I would say it needs to be her. I mean, but y'all let me know. Anyways, moving right along. So, yeah, Wendy put Miss Darby on blast. Yeah, Ashley, you let us know what it means. Okay. Then Nneka says that Wendy tried to ice her out. Listen, Andy tried to explain that production wanted Nneka to come on through Wendy. Okay. And Andy said, I think I have the quote. I think I have the exact quote. Andy said casting had originally wanted Nneka and Wendy to come onto the show through Wendy because we thought you had mutual friends. What production told me was that you did not necessarily seem that excited by that idea. And then everyone used what Andy said as a kind of like gotcha moment. Like, Nneka is vindicated. It's now been proven that Wendy did not like Nneka for no apparent reason and wanted to ice her out and did not want her onto the show. And I just don't feel like that's a vindication moment. And this is not me being a fan of Dr. Wendy. This is my true personal feelings. Because there is this idea that Wendy wants to be the only Nigerian lady onto the show. No. I feel like there are different factors, right? And maybe that is the case. Maybe that's the case. Okay, maybe Wendy felt threatened, and maybe she was like, okay, wait, being the Nigerian with 4 degrees is my shtick. That's my niche. Okay, that's my thing. That's my lane. That's what I bring to the show. Right? So maybe that was the case. I really can't speak to her heart. I don't know her like that. But I also know that she did not know her like that. Okay, and I think we can all agree, and I want us to put this to bed. I believe all of the fans can agree on the fact that maybe they met once, twice, or 3 times, whatever the case may be. But they don't know each other. They don't know. Maybe they knew of each other, but they don't know each other. I would assume that, Nneka knew of Wendy more so because Wendy is a public figure. Okay? So with that being the case, they don't know each other. So when Wendy says, I don't know her, I believe that to be the truth. When Nneka goes, I don't know her, I do believe that to be the truth. But I also feel as though that when it was announced that Nneka was going to be onto the show, I bet your bottom dollar that Wendy and her husband definitely did their research. Why wouldn't you? It's kind of like Alex and them on Martha's Vineyard. And I didn't even watch the episode, but I definitely saw the clip onto Twitter where they're getting on Alex for Googling Shanice and bringing up the article and stuff like that. Why is it so wrong to Google people? If you know that you're going to be on TV with somebody, why wouldn't you Google them? If you know that somebody's joining the friend group, why wouldn't you, like, I don't know. I feel like in real life, if this is real life, do I go home and Google, new people that I meet? No. Okay. Do I Google like men that I date? Yes. If I'm dating you, if I have intentions on really being involved with you in that sort of a close-knit, emotional, sexual, possible long-term way, yes, I do Google people that I date. I do investigate people that I date. I do, skim their social media accounts. And yes, I'll gather up a lot of information and be on the phone with you and ask you about it as if I don't know. Or wait for you to tell me something and act surprised like I didn't know. Oh, you went to Harvard? Oh, wow. That's interesting. As if I didn't know that 2 months ago, right? Anyways, as far as friends are concerned, I don't really Google my friends. I don't think I've ever Googled any of my friends. Honestly, I don't care. However, if I was on a TV show and I knew that somebody was going to be, onto the show, of course I'm going to do my due diligence. Of course I'm going to look you up. Of course why wouldn't I? I want to see, okay, who is this? What is this person about, right? Anyways, but here's the thing. We also have to think of the fact that we don't know how that situation coincided with Kiarna being onto the show. One of the pieces of advice that I gave the production of RHOP was I felt like they were severely lacking in casting because it made no sense to me why Wendy didn't have a friend. Like Robin, to me, in my opinion, doesn't need to bring on a friend of, right? Gizelle, to me, doesn't need to bring on a friend of. They have plenty of friends onto the show. If we talk about other shows, I feel like Candy, for example. Why does Candy, and this is no tea, no shade to Manietta. I love Manietta. But Candy, to me, it's unfair for Candy to have a Manietta on the cast when Candy is already friends with a lot of she's already cool. Like, she doesn't need a friend of. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like friend ofs should be granted, and this is something that I feel like production needs to think of. Friend ofs need to be granted to people who actually are on life support, who need a lifeline. And I kind of feel like, especially now more than ever, it's more relevant this year than it was last year. To me, Dr. Wendy needed a lifeline, and she needs a friend onto the show, right? So I say that to say, I don't know how Wendy bringing on Nneka could have possibly affected Wendy bringing on Kiarna. Because in my head, I'm thinking, Wendy probably wants to bring on a girl that she actually knows and that she actually likes and actually wants to film with. Am I tripping? Now, a part of me feels like, Wendy, just do your job. Bring the girl on. Who cares? Just bring the girl on and pretend that y'all know each other more than you do, right? Just make it a TV moment and just keep it pushing, right? But again, you have the Kiarna aspect. Was Kiarna in talks to become a housewife? Was she in talks to, be a friend of, sign a contract with Bravo and things like that? If she brought on Nneka, does that mean Kiarna wasn't going to be onto the show? Like, I feel like you have to add those things, into the situation. And it might have been a factor as to why, Wendy wasn't thrilled or excited to bring Nneka on. Maybe it had nothing to do with the fact that she wanted to be the only Nigerian princess onto the show, child. I mean, I'm just saying, food for thought. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about everything in the comments down below. Y'all, you know what I just thought about? We still have Mia and Gordon onto the screen, child. And we're talking about Wendy and, oh no, we talked about Darby. Okay, so that's, Wendy and Nneka. Okay, moving right along. What else do we have to talk about? But Nneka claims that Wendy tried to ice her out, child. Okay, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Wendy's like, girl, whatever the case may be, I apologize for calling you a crackhead. At this point, we can move forward. Let's try to coexist and move forward. I feel like I wish Wendy would soften up slightly. I do. I feel like Wendy should have apologized for calling Mia slow. Even if you feel like someone is a dummy, even if you feel like someone is slow, even if you feel like someone is stupid, it is impolite, it is rude, and it's mean-spirited. Whether she assaulted you, last year or not, I just kind of feel like it's mean. It's mean. But I feel like after some time has passed and we're sitting here at the reunion today, and the spirit of the reunion is supposed to be progressing as a friend group and moving forward, for you not to just say, you know what, Mia, that was mean. My bad. Like, I get she assaulted you. I get that she tried to throw a drink at you or did throw a drink at you. I get that. You probably think she's scum of the earth. You probably do think that you're dumb. But just, I don't know. I just kind of feel like, why be mean when you can be nice? Okay, it's nice to be nice. All right, so last but not least, I did want to talk about everything regarding Kiarna. I feel like Kiarna is gorgeous. I think she's beautiful. I think she's cool. I think she's smart. I would like to see her again next year. I feel like she's likable. She seems pretty liked by the entire cast. And yeah, I think Kiarna's really cool. Um I don't know if we'll ever see her as a housewife, right? I'm not sure if she has a husband or kids or anything like that. I would assume she does not. But, you know, I think she should stick around as a friend. As far as her and Gizelle, I think it's interesting. Remember, they went to some country. I forgot where they went, child, for the cast trip. But wherever they went, they were on the cast trip. Kiarna was sick on the first day, and Gizelle was the only person to check on her, right? And how Candace at this reunion was like, oh, that was strategic, right? I 100% agree with Candace, and I'll tell you why. Gizelle did not walk into Kiarna's room and go, oh my God, are you okay? Are you feeling better? Are you still sick? Do you need anything? And then Kiarna gave her response, and Gizelle said, okay, well, I'll be in the next room. Let me know if you need anything. That would have been genuine. But Gizelle didn't do that. This is what Gizelle did. Gizelle said, so Kiarna, are you good? Are you okay, girl? Did your friends check on you? Wait, what? What do you mean Candace and Wendy? They didn't check on their friend? What? Oh, wow. Adding the extra sauce on it. Like, girl, it was strategic. As far as the fight with Debbie, we don't really have to talk about that nor rehash it. I just, I think it was Gizelle who was blaming the girls, blaming Wendy and blaming Candace, and she said everyone was responsible. Maybe she blamed Wendy because she just doesn't like Wendy. Okay, maybe it was just a Freudian slip. She don't like the girl, so in her mind, Wendy is to blame for everything. Wendy is at fault for everything, and so it just slipped, and then she had to take it back, and she said, well, maybe not Wendy, maybe not Wendy. Yeah, maybe not Wendy. Okay, walk that one back, sis. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about everything in the comments down below. I would say that part 1, 2, and 3 were the 3 best episodes of the season. I would give this reunion out of 10 a 7.5, 8. I really did enjoy it. So listen, I like it when the girls don't avoid and ignore each other and they have like real conversations and actually like, kind of do their jobs. Let me know how y'all feel about everything. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day. Bye.